Before we start this video, let me ask you a question. How well do you know Cathie Wood? We always see her in an interview talking about business-related stuff. Today, we're going to introduce Cathie Wood and share some knowledge about her life and the ARK Invest. In the year 2020, Catherine Duddy Wood will be known as the most successful stock picker and the lady who is leading the way toward disruptive technologies. Many people who invest their money feel that accumulating wealth is the consequence of a series of successful activities taken in succession. While others work to get a competitive advantage in the market by developing conditional methods, it is believed that some people wait for the appropriate time to begin digging for treasure so that they can come up the ante and make a significant move when the opportunity presents itself. There are some people who have successfully navigated life by choosing the path that presents the least amount of challenges for them. And as a result, they have amassed a significant fortune while also improving the lives of others. This is an illustration of one of the most compelling stories. Catherine Wood is not only the Chief Executive Officer, Founder, and Chief Investment Officer of ARK Investment, but she was also named by Bloomberg News as the top stock picker for the year 2020. She was born in 1955 in the city of Los Angeles. Her parents emigrated to the United States from Ireland, and her father was a skilled radar systems engineer who had previously served in both the Irish Army and the United States Air Force. Cathie claims that her father has a keen eye for detail and taught her to recognize the interconnections that exist between many things. After receiving her diploma from Notre Dame Academy in Los Angeles in 1974, she continued her education at the University of Southern California to earn a Bachelor of Science degree in Finance and Economics. In 1981, she was awarded a degree with the honors of summa cum laude. She had Arthur Laffer, a well-known economist, as a professor, and he went on to serve as her mentor. Because she was the eldest child in the family, she always believed that it was her role to carry the responsibility for the family when she was younger. She remembers the saying, approached it with a great bit of trepidation because it applies to every initial step that she took in college, her profession, and every new organization that she's been with. Welcome to Smart Stock Academy, where you'll discover videos about businesses and insights from your prominent CEOs. Thank you for joining us for today's video, and let's explore topics that will awaken your curiosity when it comes to stocks and investments. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell to assure you that you'll be updated whenever we upload videos. In 1977, when Wood was only 20 years old and working as an assistant economist, she met Arthur Laffer, who became her mentor and was instrumental in assisting her in launching a successful career in economics. After that, she was an important contributor to the Jennison Associates team when she was employed there in New York City for a total of 18 years. She held the positions of managing director, analysts, and portfolio manager all at the same time. When she started working at Jennison Associates, her instinctive ability to analyze and create connections between various elements which she had cultivated since she was a youngster came in very handy. She analyzed the market in a manner that was not typical of the way that markets are analyzed in the modern era. She made the observation that a number of newly listed stocks that were on their way to a startling increase had been overlooked, and that these newly listed equities arrived one after the other. There are many sources, some of which include Reuters and Telerate. This caught Cathie's attention, and she decided to purchase the decreased stocks. Subsequently, her concept led to the development of the internet. Because of this, Cathie possesses a singular skill that sets her apart from other people when it comes to recognizing stocks. It provided her the confidence to think creatively and make a decision that was different from the norm. In addition to that, it instilled in her an appreciation for the long-term development and exponential potential of innovative ideas and innovations. Cathie Wood and Lulu C. Wang formed Tupelo Capital Management and Hedge Fund based on New York City in 1998. Her second job was as a Chief Investment Officer of Global Theme Strategies at Alliance Bernstein, which she obtained through working there. She was in charge of $5 billion during the financial crisis that occurred in 2007 and 2008, and she faced severe criticism for her ineffective management of the funds. Cathie's financial forecasts were muddled and contradictory in the years leading up to the rough patch in history. Interest rates went down at the same time that the prices of oil and other commodities went through the roof. These exotic home equity loans have gotten the attention of regulators in the United States, who have announced their intention to conduct an investigation into them. Cathie got the sense that a lot was going on behind the scenes, so she excluded any housing-related risks from the portfolios. After a while, the weak performance of Wood Cathie led to widespread dismissal. She admitted that she was experiencing a negative state of mind at the time. She came up with an innovative approach to active management for exchange-traded funds while she was working at AllianceBernstein. As a result of disruptive innovation, it is anticipated that profits will increase. AllianceBernstein came to the conclusion that the investment carried an acceptable level of risk. Cathie was confined to working in the shadows since there was nowhere for her to make the distinctive contribution that was uniquely hers. She had spent more than a decade working for AllianceBernstein before making the courageous decision to strike out on her own and launch an investment management firm of her own. At the age of 57, Cathie achieved her lifelong goal of starting her own investment firm by establishing ARK Investments. In an interview, Cathie Wood stated that these two factors were the driving forces behind the establishment of ARK Invest. The first one is that there should only be an emphasis on disruptive innovation, and second, an open research environment should be built as a means of developing an open-source research ecosystem. Both of these things should be done simultaneously. After participating in a Bible reading program for an entire year, she came up with an idea for the name of the company, which was derived from the Ark of the Covenant that is mentioned in the Bible. She asserted that the company was established due to her religious convictions. During one summer, Cathie spent the entire time alone at home because her 3 children had gone away to a camp for 2 weeks. Her intuition directed her towards innovative and game-changing disruption. In her original statement about her thoughts, she said, "Look, you've been a student of disruptive innovation your entire career. Why don't you disrupt your own industry? It's broken. Why don't you disrupt it with some of these new technologies? Why don't you harness social media? Why don't you invite people and even your competitors to brainstorm about these new ideas?" And so I did that, and it's been amazing. It's so better than anything I could imagine. Cathie Wood financed the entirety of the business on her own for the first 3 years, as a period during which its assets did not experience significant growth. On a bi-weekly basis, a significant amount was debited from her account. Despite this, she stood firm in her pursuit of the goal. Even though the majority of people were investing in a risk-free strategy, ARK Invest chose to concentrate its efforts and resources on the most cutting-edge and game-changing technology. In other words, ARK was advocating for innovative approaches that had the potential to alter the course of history. A significant portion of her investment is being allocated to Zoom Video, Tesla, Planter, and Teladoc. The company managed a big number of exchange-traded funds and routinely exceeded everyone's expectations with their performance. The product selection was thoughtfully arranged, which contributed to the company's successful business. The current value of the assets under management is equal to $52 billion. The performance of ARK's ETF has been superior to that of the market, marking it one of the leading funds. Additionally, Cathie asserted that investors desired greater openness and that a number of managers had let their customers down, which resulted in clients moving toward more passive investment strategies. Cathie stated that investors desired greater transparency. As a result, they launched the Equity Exchange Traded Fund. Her profession began at the age of 20, and she gathered a wealth of information and skills. Throughout the financial crisis of 2008 and 2009, she was able to learn from several stock market disasters, the telecom and tech burst, and the hard-hit recession years of 2008 and 2009. Moreover, as we all know, the financial market isn't simply one entity, but rather a collection of sectors. Cathie's long-term investment strategy is focused only on acquiring disruptive technologies, which made her more unique. The ARK's goal was to create long-term trends that would eventually lead to ongoing wealth growth. The distinctive platforms offered by ARK Management are what distinguish it from its rivals in the industry. In addition to investing in energy storage and blockchain technology, ARK Investment Management also makes investment in immunotherapy, Internet of Things or IoT, electric vehicles, artificial intelligence, robotics, cloud computing, and 3D printing. The crypto industry is currently where ARK is focusing the majority of its attention. They have a deep-seated commitment to the moral principle of conducting all areas of their business operations, including strategy and the investment, in an open and truthful manner. The organization often publishes reports on the existing and future situation of the business and financial markets in order to keep its clients up to date on relevant information. In a genuine one-of-a-kind work environment, disruptive technologies of every imaginable kind are being subjected to research and analysis by a wide spectrum of specialists, including scientists, computer specialists, and financial industry professionals. These actions are beneficial for all of the company's investors. Within the framework of an open research environment, both top-down and bottom-up research approaches are integrated. The organization makes full use of any emerging cutting-edge technology as soon as it becomes available. The primary target of this research method is organizations that stand to benefit considerably from disruptive technological advancements. Because they take a comprehensive approach to invest, ARK Investments achieves higher returns on their clients' investments. A number of different investment strategies are utilized by ARK. These include diversification across a variety of market categories and sectors, theme investing, and cross-sector investment methods. They are of the opinion that disruptive innovation will be successful in all regions, all industries, and all market capitalizations. Let us introduce the diversification over a broad spectrum of different market segments and classifications. ARK investors have access to a diverse selection of investment opportunities ranging from small-cap enterprises to blue-chip companies and everything in between. Its interest includes a variety of businesses, including those with great potential but cyclical volatility, some with low capacity but steady performance, and some with huge capitalization and a certain amount of future capacity. This diversity not only ensures a consistent performance that produces good returns, even if any particular sector underperforms, but it also preserves the balance of its portfolios. As a result of their efforts, the other participants do not drain ARK's capital because they keep ARK's gains in proportion to their own. Next thing we're going to introduce is known as thematic investment. Macro-level and long-term turnovers in particular markets are determined by this method. Because of ARK's success in discovering convergence spots between multiple businesses and disruptive discoveries, it has been able to produce larger returns on its investments. As a result of the mentioned macro trends, these companies and sectors which are involved in a variety of disruptive technologies gain tremendous financial rewards. The last one that we're going to introduce is the method of the cross-sector investment procedure. They place a high emphasis on each paradigm-shifting breakthrough that simultaneously strengthens a variety of markets and fields. This is not the usual approach at all, as most conventional funds concentrate their attention on a single industry. Including this would ensure with absolute certainty that innovation is grafted into each and every decision, which would result in the creation of the company's portfolio. What may the possible explanation be? It determines the course of action and the parameters of the future despite differences in cultural language and trends. What differentiates ARK's strategies from those of its competitors? What set Cathie Wood apart from others? It has been brought up that ARK takes into consideration the market inefficiencies that clear the way of arbitrage and produce enormous gains. The majority of conventional fund managers and investors don't pay much attention to these. However, it turns out that this gap results in a significant earnings being lost. An investigation by ARK's company concluded that there are 4 market shortcomings. To begin, the market's short-term time horizon is one of the most important considerations. Mr. Renato Leggi, ARK Investments' client portfolio manager, describes the arbitrage opportunities as follows. The market easily can be distracted by short-term price movements, losing focus on the long-term effect of disruptive technologies. We believe there is a time arbitrage to take advantage of. ARK seeks opportunities that offer growth over 3 to 5 years that the market ignores or underestimates. A key strategy for advancing ARK's market dominance is to be an early user of new technologies and to capitalize on the long-term trends that will emerge from this. The second problem is the Wall Street's siloization. ARK is based on the premise that new ideas should not be constrained to a single industry or region. regardless of national or international borders or jurisdictions. As a result, it uses a variety of cross-sector investing methodologies to take advantage of the many rapid changes that are on the way. The majority of the market's competitors, on the other hand, only focus on conventional investments. Third is the passive public market. Cathie Wood concludes that investors aren't paying attention to the public markets, which leads in some market sectors having prices that aren't optimal. The private sector, on the other hand, is more important to them. The last one is a mindset that restricts access to research and investment possibilities. With a focus on the creative technology sector, ARC is always on the lookout for new business opportunities and always keeping an open mind backed up by in-depth knowledge of a wide range of market segments. ARC Investments has advanced further than any of its rivals thanks to its willingness to take chances and engage in risk management. Among the 10 largest female-run funds as of March 2021, Cathie Wood was responsible for establishing a few of them. All of the ARC studies and techniques have succeeded admirably during the pandemic, which is extraordinary. There was a boomer in 2020, according to Cathie. There are several problems with COVID, but they can be solved through innovation. They feel that COVID was the spark that ignited the new technology, which they believe is exceedingly dangerous. According to her, it offered them with numerous prospects for success because it earned a return of more than 170% on their capital. Exchange-traded funds offered by ARC Innovation have consistently outperformed the market for a considerable amount of time. Since its inception, the company has generated an average yearly return of 39% for its stockholders. As Cathie Wood points out in her statement, we're all about finding the next big thing. Those hewing to the benchmarks, which are backwards looking, are not about the future. They are about what was worked. We're all about what is going to work. To summarize, Cathie Wood as a company's chief investment officer is ultimately responsible for all decision-making. It is up to her to decide whether or not certain investment assets or approvals for investments are necessary. It is estimated that Cathie has a net worth of $250 million after over 40 years in the financial industry. Reddit helped Cathie get into the first class of Forbes 50 over 50 because of her massive following. She and her family currently reside in Connecticut. In 2018, she donated money to the Duddy Innovation Institute at her high school, Notre Dame Academy, in favor of educating young women in disruptive innovation. That's it for today's video. Let us know what you think and leave it in the comments section so we'll know what your insights are. Again, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more updated videos about the business world.